Hey, I erased the little summary before starting the video. So Rezero Season 3 Episode 14 was expected to focus primarily on Wilhelm van Astrea's fight against the reanimated corpse of his late wife and former sword saint, TERESHIA. The installment focused on this fight, but it didn't quite unfold as fans expected it to. Episode 14 saw the pair's son Heinkel and grandson Reinhard quickly get involved, the latter landing the final hit on TERESHIA. This action was interspersed with a focus on TERESHIA's origins and her last day in life, both prior to her hunt for the white whale and what unfolded on the battlefield. So let's dive into the episode. Rezero Season 3 Episode 14 began with a flashback to Wilhelm and TERESHIA van Astrea's first meeting, which went as fans previously saw. The focus swiftly returned to the present, where Wilhelm fought TERESHIA without quarter. Wilhelm then discussed how they had previously parted before she left to fight the white whale. Her final words were teased about her return, with Wilhelm saying he's come to collect on that promise. The two then clashed in epic fashion until they were interrupted by Heinkel Astrea, who called out to and distracted Wilhelm, allowing TERESHIA to land a crippling hit. Heinkel then realized that his father was fighting his mother, who turned her attention to their son. Heinkel drew his sword, but was immediately disarmed, begging for his life likewise. Wilhelm tried to get her attention back on him, but she refused and prepared to cut Heinkel down. Thankfully, Rezero Season 3 Episode 14 saw Reinhard van Astrea appear at that moment, saving his father. He then drew his dragon sword reed, which clearly recognized its former wielder as a worthy opponent. Wilhelm cried out in objection, begging Reinhard not to kill his TERESHIA. However, Reinhard responded that she died 15 years ago by his hand, and that the one before them was a fake as he slashed her chest with reed. TERESHIA then spoke of when the divine protection of the sword saint first came to her at 12 years old, starting a flashback to her at that age. She was shown to immediately feel and recognize the sensation, with her uncle watching from afar. She was then shown sparring against her brothers and handily defeating them, with her uncle then confirming that she was the next sword saint. Rezero Season 3 Episode 14 saw him hand her the dragon sword reed while telling her to pick up her sword. However, TERESHIA began sobbing, pitying her brother, who she loved, for his unfaltering daily dedication and effort to the sword. She even said she destroyed her brother's dream as the focus shifted to her first campaign in the demi-human war 2 years later. Her brother entered her tent, finding her cowering in a corner and sitting beside her. He references her kind and gentle nature and how frustrated he was at what happened 2 years ago. He added that he loved the sword and his life and was grateful to have her as a little sister. He said he'd protect her as her big brother if she wanted to stop fighting, with TERESHIA revealing she didn't even take to the battlefield in the war, let alone wield her sword. Her brother instead led the campaign and died in battle as a result. Rezero Season 3 Episode 14 saw her imply she tried to quit being the sword saint after, but could not, with her cowardice covered up as the war raged on. She also revealed that her uncle and all of her other brothers also died on the battlefield. The past and present blended before her as her mental state waned on the battlefield. However, she found inspiration as she watched a flower burn, with the battlefield turning to a flower field as she drew reed. The rest of the flashback fans previously saw of a young Wilhelm and TERESHIA then played out as previously shown. TERESHIA revealed that she never answered his question of whether he loved her, but they were so happy from that day on. However, they were shown arguing over TERESHIA's decision to hunt the white whale. It was implied that Heinkel's words primarily motivated her to leave, asking Wilhelm if he loved her once again. Rezero Season 3 Episode 14 saw her then injure Wilhelm with the divine protection of the death god, which prevented him from following since his wound wouldn't heal likewise. She promised she'd be fine, kissing Wilhelm and saying she loved him and that he could finally say those words when she returned. The focus shifted to the hunt, with TERESHIA and her soldiers completely pinned down by the white whale's sonic attacks. She eventually led her troops into battle, but lost the divine protection of the sword saint as they charged. Pandora then appeared before her, with TERESHIA unable to draw reed. She charged at Pandora with a regular sword, decapitating her initially, but eventually being defeated. Focus then returned to the present, where Theresia seemingly regained her senses for her final moments, allowing him to say that he truly loved her finally. Rezero Season 3 Episode 14 saw her counter that he had been saying it all this time with everything but his words, as they each said those words to each other. Theresia's body then turned to ash, with Heinkel trying to start a fight with Reinhard about Theresia's fate afterward. But he didn't take the bait. The episode ended with Wilhelm telling Heinkel to stop while gathering up Theresia's ashes, leaving with them while urging Reinhard to keep fighting as the Sword Saint. As he called Reinhard's sword being respectful implies that he already forgiven him for killing his wife. And with that, this beautifully tragic yet powerful episode comes to an end. Honestly, this episode hit different. The bittersweet love story of Wilhelm and Theresia. It wasn't just a backstory. It was a journey through pain, sacrifice, regret, and unconditional love. It showed us how even the strongest warriors carry the deepest scars, not on their bodies, but in their hearts. Theresia, who never even wanted to pick up a sword, became the most respected sword saint. Wilhelm, who once fought to protect her, ultimately fought against her, not out of hatred, but out of love. That final I love you moment, it truly brought tears to my eyes. But what about Reinhard? His internal conflict, his powerful entrance, and his complex emotions. Everything is setting him up to become an even more layered character in upcoming episodes. If you enjoyed this breakdown, then please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and do drop a comment below. Tell me what moment touched you the most. Was it Theresia's final goodbye, Wilhelm's sorrow, or Reinhard's emotional decision? Also, just a tiny spoiler tease for the next episode. Things are about to heat up in the Royal Selection arc again. A new threat is about to emerge. Subaru's next move will shock many, and some old faces might return with new twists. So be ready. The next episode is going to be wild. And before I end, I just want to humbly apologize if I mispronounced any character names, mixed up a few scenes, or got any tiny script details wrong. I try my best to give you the most accurate and emotional storytelling possible. But if you caught anything off, please do let me know in the comments. Your feedback truly helps me improve and make each video better than the last. Thank you so much for watching this far. You guys are the real MVPs. I'll meet you in the next episode breakdown. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep loving anime. Jai Anime. Jai Emotion. Goodbye.